Another sketchbook is completed.
Started the sketchbook on 4th of April and finished on 11th of March. On the first page I have tulip study from 3 different angles. I have watercolor pigments that I use for this study. This is a simple study page.
Second page was painted in 14th of April, yellow crocus flowers, and now in March they're starting to grow. Look at these little babies.
This is a more complex study page where we have with different mediums from different angles, watercolor mixes, leaves. I also have graphite study, and I wrote some facts about crocus flower from around the world, little poem that I found. Date, name. On next page, I have 2 rose studies. These are really quick sketches outside with watercolor mixes. This is mostly done for testing pigments, testing watercolor mixes. And both of these studies are done in my parents' garden from real life subject, which is the best for watercolor mixing. Next we have basil study. Different parts of basil plant with markers, enlarged flower, watercolor mixes, some facts about basil plant. And this is also a quick study of watercolor mixes, form, leaves, how to approach this plant. Next I have million dots of a rose. I have a poem about dot painting, and this is a wonderful way to learn tonal values, how to make something flat look realistic on paper, different from watercolor painting, different from graphite study. You can really level up your observation skills with this practice and a little rest from watercolors.
I also started to practice landscape painting, sketching while on travel or going for a walk.
We were traveling with family, and while being by the lake in Switzerland, I did this very quick study, landscape study. Wonderful way to capture memories. This shouldn't take long, not too detailed, just to catch the feeling, the vibe of the place you are in, colors. This is like little memory keepsakes from your time spent abroad with family, with friends. This work took me maybe 10-15 minutes of my time. If you have more, that's amazing. I try to find little here and there moments when children can allow. This is another study that I did while we were walking in my area that I live in together with my husband and youngest daughter. We went for a walk, and I had also some 15-20 minutes of my time. Moving on to autumn in my sketchbook. Back in 2023 autumn, I did this challenge of different autumn paintings, which I also shared in a free ebook. Pigments, different leaves. There are some just fallen that have some greens in it, some older ones that are more already dyed and with more browns in it. Next painting of autumn was white cosmos flower. And as you can see, white flower has a lot of pigments in their mixes. I also wrote down and painted out watercolor mixes that I used for this white flower, and a quick study of white flower on a white surface without any white pigment. This page is mixed medium, enlarged cranberries. I did with watercolors, then some parts with pencils, and then gouache background, also gouache on top of cranberries to make them more stand out and contrast. This is another landscape sketch. I did with my friend. We also did it outside. It's already 20th of October. It was very cold, but I enjoyed every minute we spent painting outside. I will definitely do these sketches more during this year. I even plan to have landscape sketching challenge. This is Dubai 2024 February. I had a workshop and we did peony. I painted in my sketchbook while showing different stages to my students. This is 𝗝𝗡𝗜𝗏 flower. We did it together with my Patreon students while Zoom live painting session. Also pigments painted out to see which pigments I will be using for this flower study. First I practiced, then I did together with my students. Here I have a project that I started to do on my Instagram and YouTube community, Calla Lily's step-by-step painting in 9 parts, where I shared each part step by step, showing how I approach transferring, sketching, watercolor mixing, painting, so that my community members can also follow along and do this work. I sent reference photo and line drawing to those that wanted to paint with me. Next work is a tutorial that I did for my Patreon students, and this was an interesting challenge I did for my Patreon students at the end of 2023. I painted 5 different tutorials and students needed to paint them as well, and then they send in their work, and I randomly selected 3 winners that got art materials from me. So this was a challenge for my Patreon. We had an avocado, then we have a physalis painting, which was also part of this challenge, and white orchid flower. Next page is also a tutorial that I did for my Patreon students. We were studying shine on flower surface, how to achieve shiny subject with watercolors. This painting is from Dubai, January. Plumeria flower painting, which is also made into tutorial for my Patreon students. A very vibrant tropical flower. Next page we have hibiscus study. I have facts about hibiscus all around the world, pigments, watercolor mixes. I like to write some facts or poems in my sketchbook pages, also date and flower study. This is second project for Instagram and YouTube community, Cyclamen Step by Step. I have it in 5 parts. We painted flower, did watercolor mixes, pigments, and also reference and line drawing is available still if you find it on my Instagram page. Next page, I started this white anemone painting in February together with my patrons on live Zoom class and finished only in March. Watercolor mixes started with leaves, second part was also about leaves and stem, and third final part I did in March, flower head. So this is normal that you are jumping from one page to another. On 14th of February I did free tutorial for my community across Instagram, YouTube and Patreon, wishing lots of love and hugs on Valentine's Day with chocolate and strawberry painting. Then I came back to this one and finished after chocolate with strawberry. This page I did quick color notes while being in woods. And last page I have real pressed fern, which is also a wonderful addition to your sketchbook pages. You can press flowers, little memory keepsakes, I don't know, maybe a ticket from museum visit. You can add that to your sketchbook pages. You can press flowers, you can press leaves and add to your sketchbook study pages. Of course, you can't press avocado, but flowers, definitely leaves, maybe some memories. For example, this landscape sketch can take some leaves. Here also, press leaves inside from maybe a trip. You can add also some memories and make your sketchbook even more interesting.
Another sketchbook is finished, filled with memories and countless hours of practice.
Each page tells a story. Each practice is a chapter in my artistic evolution.
And remember, it's not just about finishing a sketchbook, but it's about the journey and growth it represents. Until next time, keep creating and embrace painting practice. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and comment. I would like to get in touch with you. Thank you.